Hello YouTube, it's me KG. Let me explain the audio. So my AC isn't working. So right now behind you I have like a little portable AC running. I'll just show you. And then over there I have an oscillating fan going. So this video is not going to sound the best, but we're all just going to collectively breathe in, breathe out, let that go. Let go of the fact that this sounds like dirt. Okay, thank you for doing that. I've been wanting to talk to you guys, but I haven't come on and done it because I didn't know what I wanted to say and I didn't know how to formulate a thought, but now I know what we're going to talk about. So this is going to be a FaceTime style yap sesh. This is good to watch if you're like folding laundry, doing the dishes, bored, like you just need someone to blab on in the background, because I'm just going to be blabbing. We're just going to be having a little chitty chatter here, okay? So first channel updates, then like life updates. Okay, channel. So I spent a month in Vietnam and Thailand. If you're new here, maybe you didn't know that, but I did. I think I have up one video on it of me, like I do have up a video of me like getting ready and my first day in Thailand. I filmed so much. I actually bought a new memory card for that trip, so I had 2 memory cards and they both ran out of space. I filmed so much, but now that I'm back, I don't feel like editing it. I'm halfway through editing the first week and I'm just like, I don't really want to do this. So I'm giving myself a little bit of an editing break to we're just gonna yap. So this is another one of my unedited videos and we're just gonna have a good time. I don't know how much memory space is on this. It used to house that first video that I uploaded. I was able to delete all those clips because I uploaded the video, but it's still mostly full of all the other Thailand content. So when this runs out of memory space, this video will be over. Hopefully that doesn't happen abruptly, but we'll see. So yeah, I just haven't felt like editing lately. I also wrote a script for a video about Wicked that I haven't even filmed because I don't want to edit it eventually, and I don't have any memory space on which to film. But Wicked Part 2 comes out in November, so I want to get out my video on Part 1 before Part 2 comes out, so that we can, like, you know, reminisce together and then see Part 2 and really get into it. I've also been thinking about this YouTube channel. I'm about to hit 400 subscribers. By the time this is uploaded, I'll probably be at 400. So thank you to all 400 of you. That's crazy. And it is crazy that I'm hitting 400 because it's 400 separate people who all decided, I like this, I'll subscribe. Like, that's a lot. But it's also like, I've been on YouTube for 7 or 8 years and we're hitting 400 subscribers. So like, you know, YouTubers who are famous usually come on and they're like, I had to try really hard and I put in a lot of work. I was on YouTube for like 6 months before I got paid. So I'm like, this is not really giving career to me. It's not really giving professional hope. Like, I don't think this is gonna be like my side hustle or my main hustle. Absolutely not. So I've kind of just been thinking, like, why don't I just like do literally whatever? Like, if it doesn't matter anyway, I can just do whatever I want. Like, why am I worried about trying to edit a video if I don't feel like editing it? I can just yap and I can just post me yapping. There's girls with millions of subscribers who literally just post themselves yapping. Like, what's her name? I should know her name. She's in drama right now. The Wizard Liz. Her videos, she just be talking to the camera. Like, if I want to do that, I can do that. So that's what I'm doing. Hello. Hi. I have a lot of interests that change. And when you make a YouTube channel that's not vlogs, when you decide to talk about a specific interest like movies or crochet or writing or art or something, you're supposed to talk about only that, and I don't really want to. And since this isn't my job, I don't really have a reason to. So I kind of think I'm just going to pick up the camera and make whatever I want to make, and that's what's going to get uploaded onto the channel because it doesn't impact my pockets. It doesn't. But speaking of my pockets, let's get to probably the title of this video, the reason you're here. Yeah, so I actually literally just got back from a meeting. So here, okay, my job used to be located 30 minutes from my house. They decided, well, okay, my job used to be located 30 minutes from my house, and it used to be owned by a family that lived in South Africa. There are offices all over, Canada office, Australia office, South Africa office, whatever. And there was the office 30 minutes from my house. The family that owned the company sold it to a private equity firm. I love that. And the private equity firm came in and made some changes to cut costs. And I knew getting bought out was a good risk that we were gonna get laid off. I knew this. So I was checking in California where I live. There's a warn notice where if you're going to lay people off, you have to post on the warn notice so that if they see it, they'll have a warning. But it's basically like you have to give a warning. You can't just lay people off. So I've been checking the warn notice like every couple of weeks just to see if there would be anything, because we got bought out by a private equity firm. Like, hello. But I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything for a couple weeks. And then the equity firm started talking about their plans. And based on their plans, it seemed like we were going to be getting a lot more people in marketing. I work in marketing. I'm a marketing project manager. Hi, hello. It seemed like we were going to be getting a lot more people in marketing because they wanted to expand certain brands. They wanted to like really push things. By the way, my company, like, they all sell the same thing, but there's different brands that sell all of it. So it's kind of like my company like owns email, and one of their brands is Gmail, one of their brands is Yahoo, one of their brands is AOL, etc. So they wanted to expand some brands by a ton. They wanted to combine some brands. They wanted to really switch stuff up, and it was looking like they were going to need a lot of marketing dollars to do it. And if they're going to be putting in a lot of marketing dollars, they're going to need a lot of marketing people on the marketing team. So I didn't feel fully safe, but I felt like it was making sense. I was looking on the warrant notice. I wasn't seeing anything. Our department head was telling us about all these plans to add all these marketing dollars. And I'm like, okay, it's making sense. It's making sense. And then the first big change comes. They decide that we're going to move offices. So the old office was actually owned by the family that also owned the company. And the family didn't sell the office. They didn't sell any of their land. All they sold was the company. So the family still owned that office. The equity firm felt like they could get a better deal elsewhere. So the equity firm rented out a new office an hour from my house. And when they were telling us about this new office, one person asked, hey, how many chairs are there at this office? How many desks are there? And they said a number. I don't remember what it was, but let's say 100. And we were like, 100? That's not enough to house the people here? And they said, no, that's fine, because my company is hybrid, right? So they were like, well, we're just going to stagger the days that people come in. So some teams will be Monday, Wednesday. Some teams will be Tuesday, Thursday. We'll just stagger it so that everybody has space. Okay, sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. So we end up leaving the old office that was 30 minutes from my house, and we go remote for 2 months. Well, initially a month, but I knew it was going to take longer because my dad worked in construction and I know it always takes longer. So we went remote while they were still constructing some things in our office space, and we've been remote. Well, then the equity firm tells us that they want to come up with their value plan, with their 5-year plan for the business and how they're going to really shake stuff up. And my old boss who ended up leaving and my dad were both telling me, like, when equity firms come in, they usually scale the business for like 5 to 10 years and then try and sell it. So the fact that we were getting a 5-year plan was giving, okay, they want to scale us up and then sell us to a different equity firm so they could make their investment back. That made sense. Okay, it's all adding up. It's all adding up. It wasn't giving layoff. I was still checking the warrant notice. But it wasn't giving layoff. It was starting to make sense. I was starting to be like, okay, maybe I'll actually have a job. Maybe. And so this office is still under construction as of today, but they decided to have a meeting to announce their 5-year plan that they had been working on for months and months and months and months and months. And they had this meeting at the hotel across the street from the office. So it was important for us to have an office with a hotel because, again, we have teams all over the world. So like when the London team comes to visit, they need somewhere to stay. So we needed an office with a hotel nearby. So they rented the lobby space of the hotel across the street from our new office and said, hey, we're going to tell you about our 5-year plan. So I get in my car and I spend my gas money to drive in my car that I owned when I was already working remote to drive an hour through traffic in LA to go to this goddamn hotel. And there are 2 meetings. There's the morning meeting that is like everything, and then there's the afternoon meeting that is marketing specific. They also had a sales meeting. Don't know what happened in that meeting. I didn't care to go. But the marketing meeting is later, okay? So in the morning meeting, they're talking about their plans, and they make it very clear that certain things are getting cut. Very clear. They said that, like, USA Finance, for example, it's not going to be a thing. They're moving all the finance teams over to London. I work with the finance team in America. Like, oh, you're laying off my girl? You're getting rid of my guys? Like, what? and they announced, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this. I didn't sign an NDA that I'm aware of, and I've never said what company I work at, so I could be talking about anything. But they announced that some other regions' departments were closing that were also affecting me and my team. So I was just feeling like, dang, like they're really letting go of all these people that I know but they would talk about, they clarified later, we're not completely closing these offices. Like there's still gonna be a USA office, it just won't be finance there. So the finance people can shift to other positions. Maybe they move to sales, maybe they move to London and go work in finance over there. Like there will be other positions and other opportunities. We're gonna try and move and replace as many people as we can. And they talk about the business expansion plans, and they want to increase budgets by this much and add all of this and do all this crazy stuff, so there's going to be more opportunities. Okay, but I'm not, it just doesn't make sense, because I'm like, if you're getting rid of all of sales in the US, then this, not sales, all of finance, like accounts payable and stuff like that, payroll, all of that in the US, you're moving all those people to London. The US people don't, like, they can't move to a job in another department because there's no other financial departments. Anything they'd be qualified to do, it doesn't exist here. So that's what I'm thinking in the first meeting. But they go into their expansion plans, and it included a lot of marketing spend. A lot of increased marketing spend, and I work in marketing. A lot of increased marketing spend. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe some of these switches are to like streamline things, right? Like maybe they just want all the marketing to come out of USA so that we can just spit it out, because we were one of the biggest marketing teams of all of the regions. Maybe they want to do something like that. I don't know. I'm just here in the first meeting. I'm here, we're going to get a lot of money, and I'm like, okay, well, my boss was right. She was saying that they would increase our investment, and she didn't lie to me. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling okay. I literally checked the warrant notice last week when they announced that we were going to be having this meeting, because I was like, if they're going to lay people off, it's going to be during this meeting. So let me check the warrant notice. Wasn't nothing on there. So I'm like, okay, slay. So we have the first meeting. We go to lunch. We're, sad for the teams that got cut, but we're thinking like, it'll, like, they'll find something will work out. Like surely something's gonna work out. Like they're not gonna increase all this spend and bring in all this money and then just fire everybody. Like that doesn't make any sense. So they'll figure something out for everybody. Like my girl is in finance, is gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Okay, copium. Then I need some water. My throat, I was actually yelling at myself in the car, so on my hour-long drive home. So my voice is actually, I'm kind of losing my voice if you can't tell. But we then have the marketing meeting later, we come back from the marketing meeting, and the marketing meeting is headed by this woman who used to be like the overall marketing director, and she's moved into a higher position. When the company got bought out and they needed to restructure really quickly, some of the people who were too close to the old family that owned it got moved out or left with the family, and so they moved this woman to a higher position, a executive level position, and she moved to London. And I always thought, like, why can't she do that executive level job here? Why are they sending her to London? Well, I found out today. So we get into the marketing meeting, and they're talking about expansion and money and business plans. Yay, yay, woo, woo. And then they announce that because they're expanding so much, because they're increasing the budget so much, because they want us to do so much more marketing work, they're actually going to outsource all marketing to agencies. We will no longer do any in-house marketing of any kind. You're all fired. Okay, cool, love that. And so then it made sense why this lady moved to London, because there was no marketing going to be existing in the USA. So why would they have her stay here? It also made sense why they got this office building that didn't have enough chairs. They were going to fire half of us, so it didn't matter. It was honestly kind of a confusing meeting, because in the first meeting they made it very clear, like, USA Finance is done. Like, they were very straightforward with it. And I think it's probably because they weren't there. But with marketing sitting there, it was kind of unclear. Like, we were all kind of looking around like, well, what do you mean you're outsourcing? And they also, I think that they wanted to do that thing of like, there's going to be other opportunities at the company, to the point where it got confusing, because they were saying like, we're going to schedule, basically the plan is that starting tomorrow they're going to start scheduling one-on-one meetings with us, HR, and like a high person to tell us basically if our job is done or not, like if we're getting laid off. And they were saying some people will have opportunities to move elsewhere, but if you're getting rid of all USA marketing, what would any of the marketers be qualified to do? And then they were saying that some things would still exist. Like, they pointed out one particular person, were like, well, that will still exist because that's like not the same kind of marketing. Like, there's different pillars of marketing, if you don't know. Like, there can be social media marketing, there could be print marketing, there can be mail marketing, email marketing, all kinds of different things. They were saying like some, like that pillar of marketing is still going to be there, but these other ones will be impacted. And I don't know what impacted means. Our department head seemed very confused and honestly started getting angry throughout the meeting. It was very unclear. So basically, I have to wait until they schedule my one-on-one and until I can attend it to get final word that yes, you are getting laid off. And they said that layoffs will begin in August and run through like next year. I think they said it'll like they'll have everyone out by January. So basically, like, same time I got laid off last time, essentially. If you weren't here, that was my last job. I think it was 2022 or 2023. I worked there for a year and a half and got laid off in December. And now I've worked here for a year and a half and I'm getting laid off close to December. So, love that. It's not confirmed that I'm getting laid off, but it's pretty likely. Because they said the digital team will be impacted. And I work on the digital team. And again, they've already, I didn't say it in the first bit, but part of my team is in another region, and they already said that region's not doing any marketing in the first meeting, where they were being very clear about things. So it's kind of like, okay, if half my team isn't doing marketing anymore, it kind of looks like I'm not going to be doing it either. So what does this mean for the future? I don't know. You see that mirror over there? Yeah, I'm going to be writing on that mirror like a mad woman after I'm done recording this, trying to figure out my life plan. Because one thing about me is I love to plan. I'm a planner. I'm literally a fucking project manager. My whole job is planning projects. I like to plan, and one thing that I tend to plan is my life. I don't plan it too far in advance, right? 2020 showed us I can't really plan that far in advance. But I usually think like a couple months worth of plan is okay. Right? No. Because my whole plan for the next couple months, deleted, trash, not doing any of that. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do. My job, I'm working on a certification right now that my job is supposed to pay for. So I need to find out in my one-on-one if they're still paying for that. If they're not, I have to figure out how I'm going to pay for it, because I still want it. It would still help me get a new job, which I now will need. But I don't have the money, and I don't know, I'll figure something out. I've been thinking about doing long-term travel. Like, maybe I could, again, my job is hybrid, so I'm like, maybe I could go remote and then travel around. I've been thinking about moving. There's nowhere in the US that particularly excites me. I could go to Austin, Texas. I don't particularly want to live in Texas, but I want to live in a place that's more affordable than California, but still has some of the same benefits of like a diverse population, good nature, a blue state, that shit ain't gonna happen. Affordable blue state, that shit ain't gonna happen. And it's like not too cold, etc. So I kind of just want California somewhere else for less money. But I don't really want to move. I don't really want to live in Texas. I don't really want to live in any of the other places that ChatGPT says fit my requirements. I don't want to make new friends. I like my friends. I like my way of life. I don't like my living situation. I want my own one-bedroom apartment, and I cannot afford that here. But maybe my new job will pay me $100 bajillion a year, and then I'll be able to get it. I've been thinking about moving to France. Again, because nowhere in America excites me. I've been told, like, the coast of France would be a good place for me. I've been thinking of just staying here, not getting another job until I find one that pays me enough that I can get an apartment, and then doing that and just gunning it out until I can get an apartment. I don't know what I would qualify for unemployment, because I have done a good job of saving while I'm at this job, and unfortunately that means I would have to spend all my savings. I've considered just not even getting a new job and just like fucking fuck it and traveling around with no income and just vibes. I've been in therapy, and my therapist the other day kind of got me excited for the thought of maybe starting a business again. But I've started so many businesses and they keep failing, and I don't really feel like failing again. I don't know. So I don't know what my life is gonna be, and I've been thinking like maybe there's other roles in the company that I could move to. But again, if they're getting rid of marketing, what would I do? The only thing I can think is I could be a project manager for another team, but all I know how to do is marketing. So like if they make me project manager of the sales team, I don't know the first, second, or last thing about sales. So how do I manage a sales project? I don't know. My throat is very dry. Very dry. I probably need to stop talking. But yeah, that happened today, just a few hours ago. I pretty much just got home, put on this t-shirt, laid down for a while, just kind of processed, and then decided, no, it's not really working. The processing isn't processing. I need to yap. And so we yapped. So that's the life update. I'm single. I don't know if I was single last time we spoke, or if I said I was single. I'm single. I had a boyfriend for a month and he cheated on me, so I'm single. I have the same friends pretty much. I made some new friends. I made a friend in Thailand who I actually went and visited. She lives in Seattle. She's super cool. Love her. Made that friend, and then I made a new friend who lives in Pasadena, even farther away than that new job office. Oh my girl, move! Come over here. I have no friends near me. But I still have the same friends that I've been having, and we're still cool. We're still kicking it. We're still rocking. I'm planning a family, like the family reunion, but I might not have a job, so I don't know how I'm gonna pay to go to that reunion. Literally today, like in between the two meetings, part of the family said next Mother's Day we should all go to Bali. Y'all got Bali money? Because now I don't. I was thinking maybe I would do a trip in September or a trip in November for my birthday. A trip to unemployment line. And I've been working on my French. Bonsoir. Je ne parle pas français. Gonna have to really hammer down some French, because if I'm moving to France, if I'm gonna be traveling Europe, I can't just do English. They don't like to speak English in the romantic countries. Like if I go to Germany or Switzerland or Denmark or something, I can go by with English. But like in France, Italy, Spain, they're just gonna laugh in my face. So I need to learn a romantic language. Yeah, the AC don't work. Bothered the landlady about that a couple of times. She's not fixing it. So like I've just been thinking like this is temporary. This place is temporary. And the plan in my head was that next summer I would be able to get a job that paid me more once I finished my certification in a proper amount of time and finally got more than a year and a half of experience working a place. I wanted to get 2 years here. Oh fucking well. Then I would have enough experience and enough certification and enough this, that, and the third to qualify for a job that would pay me enough to either go live nomadically or move into an apartment. But now I have to do it this summer. Yeah, the year in between, that shit is gone. I'm not that sad, obviously, as you can see. Getting laid off at this point is kind of comical because I got laid off my last job. Like, my life is just literally a joke. It just throws a wrench in your plans. Like, it's just kind of annoying. And maybe that's because I don't have a ton of finances. Like, I looked at the max amount of unemployment money you can get in California, and it's $1,800. Do you know that one-bedroom apartments in California start at $1,700? So if you have a one-bedroom, you can get unemployment to pay for that, but you can't eat. You can't go anywhere. You have no gas money. Like, what? What do you mean? So maybe it's just because I live in such an affordable place that I don't really like, but at least I can afford it, that I feel kind of settled and just like whatever happens, happens. But I feel bad for my coworkers. One of them just bought a house literally last week. Literally just bought a house. One of them bought a car because they lived walking distance from the old office. So they bought a car to be able to drive to the new office, only to then be fired. Like, just a lot of people make decisions around their job and around their livelihood, and then it gets snatched up from under you. Just like immediately after you make that decision. Like, I just moved. What if I had moved closer to work because I knew they were going to change offices? I would have moved to a more expensive place that I didn't want to be for no reason. For no reason. So it's just annoying for other people. I mean, it's annoying for me too, but I'm young. I'll bounce back. It is what it is. My department lead, they didn't tell anybody, basically. The CEOs and stuff knew. They basically showed us all the people who knew, and it was not anybody who was in that office, basically. It was basically all the CEOs in London who knew. I've seen some of the directors of different departments, like, sad or angry or just reacting in real time with us. And my department head left us a message in the Teams chat and was basically just like, hey, like, I know it was a rough day. We have a team-wide meeting tomorrow, and Lord knows what she's gonna say. Like, what do you even say at that point? We just did a huge project to combine our efforts, like global marketing. Well, now we're all getting fired, so there was no point to that. I'm working on a project to like move and relocate and update all of our documents. No reason to do that anymore. Like, it's just like just kind of sucks. Just kind of sucks. But yeah, my throat is starting to hurt. I'm feeling better now that I said everything. So thank you for listening to my little yap sesh. Being unemployed, and not even unemployed, but basically being pre-unemployed, being told you're gonna be unemployed, is an opportunity to do whatever you would like. And there's a lot that I could do that is kind of risky and kind of like just doing it scared and just jumping and taking that chance on myself and hoping that things turn out. And I might do one of those things. I don't know. I'm honestly quite scared of even the things I planned to do next year that I was like working towards. I'm working towards it, scared of it the whole, and I'm just like, hopefully by the time I get there, I'm ready to do it. But now I'm there right now. So I don't know. I just really like my friends, and I honestly wish that they would just follow me. Like, just pack your shit up and let's go. And then I would be comfortable doing whatever I wanted to do. Whatever I wanted to do. Whatever job, whatever place, whatever travel, whatever. But I have to go out on my own if I want to go out. And I don't know if I want to go out. I also feel like staying would be settling and denying myself the chance to do it scared while I'm still young. I have no dependents. I technically don't have anything tying me down. So it's kind of like, I feel like I'm sacrificing on both ends. When I moved to California, I felt pretty confident that it was what I wanted to do. Most of my friends had moved after college anyways. My family, like, you know, my older brother had moved out. My younger brother was gonna be moving out when he finished college, I knew. Like, everything was just kind of splitting up and splitting away from me. So I felt comfortable leaving because I wasn't leaving much. Like, I just felt like my family's always gonna be there. I can always go back and visit them. We were raised pretty independent, me and my brother. So I didn't feel like I was giving much up. Like, I knew how to be an adult. Not really, but like, I had the emotional bandwidth to like get by on my own. So I did. Now, like, I've just started to feel settled here after 4 years. Like, I learned the ways. Like, even when I moved, I still knew how to get to the grocery store. It's like, I'm familiar with the area, and I just don't really want to leave it all behind and start over. But I also don't really want to stay and just keep living the same old boring life that I can't even afford. So I don't know where this whole layoff journey is going to take me. I technically also don't even know if I'm laid off, but like, I'm pretty sure I'm laid off. I have a lot of thinking to do, a lot of decisions to make. I know right now my focus is going to be finishing my certification as quickly as possible, because whether or not my job is paying for it, I need it if I'm going to get